Hey, welcome back. So let's say you have a resume and you're looking to get a very good job as a web developer or something, and normally this job requires a college degree or even a university degree. However, you only have online courses that you on your resume. Will that be enough? Well, this depends. You need to think about online courses pretty much like foreign food. Here's what I mean. So the problem with foreign food is not that the foreign food is bad, but people, since they're not used to it, they'll need to be convinced on the fact that it's good. Now, online courses are pretty much the same. Your employers most often do not know about online courses, or they're not used to people coming with online courses on their resume. They're used to people having college degrees and such, and this is something they're comfortable with. They know that as they've seen in the past, people who have college degrees tend to do pretty well. And so that's why they're hiring them. But people with online courses, they're not so familiar with, they're not sure yet. This is pretty new. This is a pretty new phenomenon, so they're not sure yet. So they need to be convinced, they need to be sold on these online courses. Now, like Indian food, there are some foods that are easier to convince them on. Now, let's say the food smells good, it looks very delicious, it looks very similar to something they've eaten before. Well, it's going to be very much easier to convince them to eat them. And that's the same with online courses. If the course has a very good name, it looks very legit, the instructor looks very known, the instructor may even have a famous names such as Grant Cardone. This is a very good one. The better the course looks, the easier it's going to be to sell your employer on the quality of the course. And remember, when you're trying to get hired, what matters is not the quality of the course, it's how good the course looks on your resume and how good the course looks to be. This is what is going to have an impact on the employer, because the employer is not trying the course. He can't verify on himself. So what you want on your resume is the courses with the best names possible, the most relevant things to what the job you're trying to get, and the courses that the employer will feel will have the best impact possible on your company. Now, some people, like with Indian food, or other foreign food, some people are just more difficult and are less open to eat some things that are not in their comfort zone. And this is the same with online courses and employers. Some people are very conservative and are not very open to change. And this is something you cannot control. So this means that there are some employers with which you'll have a lot of an easier time selling your online courses than other employers, and this is just how the word goes. However, you need not to forget that your online courses are only quality insurance you give to the employer, and this is, as you know from my hireability video that you should watch if you did not, links in the description, that your overall hireability is equal to your quality insurance plus your credibility. Quality insurance, everything you put on your resume to give your employer a give your employer the impression that the job you're going to be making is likely to be very good. However, selling yourself is not just about what you put on your resume. There's also a whole range. There's also everything you're going to tell them in the interview. There's how you're going to stand, how you're going to clothe, how you're going to talk. Everything about your presentation during the interview is what I call your credibility. And if you're very good in interviews, if you're very good at selling yourself, if you talk in a very confident way, this is going to make a very big impact. Even if your quality insurance with your resume is perhaps not as interesting or appealing to the employer than someone else's who may or may not have a college degree, if you're very good at credibility, if you're really good at selling yourself and showing that you're the shit, you know where you're going, this is going to have a big impact, and you may very well get hired before this other person who may have a better resume than you. So this is something you also need to focus on. Now, I'm going to be making videos on how to sell yourself in interviews very soon, so if you're interested in that, subscribe. But still, when it comes to resumes, just remember, resumes are not everything. They matter, that's why you make them, but they are not everything. And online courses are not always very good, and some employers are not very interested in them, but if you know how to present them on a resume, if you know which courses to pick and how to recognize a course that has a good name and a good brand that is very good, that makes it very easy to sell it to an employer and show them that this course is the shit, it's going to be very good to boost your hireability. And this can very well be enough, even though you don't have the required or usually required college degree. So yes, you can get a job with only online courses on your resume, but you need to do it the right way. With that said, this is all for today. Thank you for watching, as always. More content on this coming soon, on how to write resumes with online courses, on how to boost your credibility, and even how to pick the right online courses to boost your learning, to have the best learning experience possible. This is all coming, so subscribe if this is something that interests you. If there's a course you want us to review, or questions, specific questions you want us to answer, well, just write them in the comments down below, and it's going to be a pleasure to look through them. Now, with that said, thank you again for watching. My name is Alec Gagne, as always, and see you soon.